How is everybody doing? Happy St. Patrick's Day. Cheers to everybody. I hope everybody was safe. I hope everybody had a great time, and it isn't over yet. No way. What's going on, folks? Welcome to the Mr. Poseidon live stream tonight, where we have some great guests. My lovely wife again. Let's say hello to her. Hi, honey. Oh, no. That's not my honey. That's Scott. What do you got there, honey?
I got it.
You got it?
Hi, everybody.
Hey, there you go. How are you, honey?
Great, thank you.
Where did you go? Why do you just take it off? Why do you do that? Don't do that. How are you?
You're the show. You're the one.
Go this way, a little bit more this way. There you go. Now you're in the middle. I'm not the show. You're the show.
No.
You've always been the show.
No.
You do everything for me.
I'm just here to try and keep the lights on and the computer going.
Well, you're doing a great job, hon. All right, guys, so welcome to the show. We got a great show ahead of us. Guys, the river, the Hudson River, if you can get out here or get into any part of the river, I would suggest you start doing it now. The fish are coming up river slowly. I was fishing for them the last 3 days. As you know, tomorrow it's pretty much over for me. What's the matter, honey?
Is the music too loud?
Okay, is that
I
better?
hear what you're saying.
Good, sorry. So basically, it's almost over for me. It is over. I got to go do a little under the knife stuff tomorrow, as you guys know. So I'll be out for the spring season, but I'll be well and ready for the spring season in Long Island, which I can't wait for. All right, so I want to just say a few hellos. John O'Dyer, Greg Pinellas, Bronx Surfcaster, The Striper Hunt. Brian Hamlet, what's up? Brian Hamlet will be on in a few weeks. Brian Hamlet makes these beautiful cutting boards, as you guys could see. Beautiful striped bass engraved in there. I got one downstairs in my kitchen. I use it. I like it. It's a pretty nice looking piece. Let's keep going. Corey McIntyre, Tom Hood, John McDowell. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Ed Point. Yep, boy. Some of the best surf bags in the business. Total Knob Fishing. What's going on? Been a little while, but I see you, buddy. How are you? Bill Jacob. Bill, how are you? Good to see you. We were on last week with Bill Jacob, Billy the Greek, and Billy Schnoz. It was a great show. Thank you to Bill Jacob. We had a great time. We were all out eating, having a few drinks here and there, just good times. Let's keep going. Antagonizer Laws, Jay Falco, Damon St. Louis, Outcast. Who else do we got out there? Joe Albanese, there he is, right next to me. Surf Fishing with Bayside Dave. Brock, how you doing, guys? So good. Helen Papagnostou, my cousin. Happy St. Patty's, darling. And let's say hello to... She had told me to say hello, and I will. And just give me a second, guys. Yeah, so it says I have to give a birthday reminder, and I met him at the show, John O'Dowd. Today he will, okay, and kisses to you from Papagnostu's, Romina.
Oh,
isn't that nice?
Nice.
Thanks. Hey, let me tell you, John, I like you. You're a very nice guy. You always keep in touch. It was great meeting you at the show. Thank you very much, and a very happy birthday to you. Okay, so let's get the show started. I got two great guests here today. Number one, I got Joe Albanese. He's the president of the Hudson River Fishermen's Association. Great guy, known for a few years right now. I know him longer because we had met before. We didn't even know we met. And my wife said to me when I went to the Hudson River Fishermen's Association, she said, I know him from somewhere. She went back into our photographs, and there he was with his girlfriend, Mona. And I just couldn't believe it. Then I remembered. So I remember that, Joe. It was good times. Anyway.
2014 on New Year's Eve, all these years later.
Yep. And the other guest we got on is Scott Havner. Scott Havner, I know again for a few years. Scott Havner, in my in the way I know him, is a very good fisherman, excellent fisherman on the Hudson, whether he's fishing from a boat or whether he's fishing from the surf. Scott's won a few competitions with the Hudson River Fishermen's Association, catching the biggest striper. I know one year he beat me out. I came in second, but that's okay. That's what it's all about. Fishing is fishing, right?
Don't happen too often.
Don't happen too often. There you go. All right, so let's say hello to the guys. Guys, hello, Mr. Joe, and hello, Mr. Scott. How are
Hey,
you?
Mr. P, how you doing tonight? Ro,
We're
how are you?
doing good. We're doing
Good.
good. We're doing very good.
There
So,
we go.
guys, I was really kind of excited. Joe, I've had you on the show. I think I've had you on the show twice actually.
before,
Yeah.
yep.
Scott, I've always wanted you on the show. I've always told them that I'd like to have you on the show. And
Joe,
I'm so
Joe
happy.
really doesn't like me that much.
Yeah, that's how.
But you were my ticket on tonight, so I wanted to make sure you came.
That's right. Damn right. He was.
Said, you going to bring Scott with you? Okay,
Yeah, there you
come on,
go.
bring-
There you go. So I'm glad. I'm glad you guys are on the show. So guys, we're going to talk a little bit first about the Hudson River Fishermen's Association. What's going on, Joe, with that? Memberships, I want to hear it all.
So real quickly, the HRFA started the cleanup of the river. We were formed in 1966 as a fishing conservation group, a nonprofit group, okay, without going into a lot of the history. What's going on that's exciting, coming up April 1st is the start of our annual striped bass catch, tag, and release derby. We're trying to encourage people to tag stripers for science. But you don't have to tag. You just have to be catch and release, okay? But if you want to double your prize money, chance of doubling your prize money, if you tag 10 or more fish, you get twice the prize money that you would normally get. So we're very particular on how you catch or how you take a photograph of it. You've been in the Derby.
Yes.
You were in the Derby the one year. You
I
probably would have
should've.
freaking won,
I
but you didn't
should've.
enter the fish.
I know. I was
he
so
didn't
upset. Anyway.
But anyway,
Yeah.
So anyway, hopefully everybody gets a chance to consider doing this because it's
Yes.
a great derby, In
And
the honor
so
of,
hold on. Not so fast. So the Derby itself, what is this Derby? Say it again.
It's the Fred Rung Memorial Catch, Tag, and Release Striped Bass Derby. It covers the entire Hudson River and all of its tributaries between the Verrazano Narrows Bridge,
Yes.
all the way up to the Troy Dam. So if the
Wow.
guys at Beast River want to get into it, the
Yeah.
East River counts, right? That's all the tributaries count.
This is really good. So you get to fish anywhere in the Hudson. There isn't a point. You have to go in and check in.
No one point. You take a photograph of your fish and you send it to 2024 Striper Derby at the hrfa.org. You send it
This is pretty cool, guys. So if you like competitions and you're fishing the Hudson, or you've never fished Hudson and you want to, this is a good way to get into it. Joe is right here. If you guys have any questions, please put them up on the board. My wife will keep an eye out for those, and we'll ask them during the show. So, Joe, for somebody to get into this, what do they have to do? How does this work? Do they have to become a member? Do they have to go online? How is it?
We have a lot of derbies and competitions where you don't have to be a member, but this one you do have to be a member. So it's $40 a year to become a member. That includes the entire family. A lot of clubs don't include the entire family. So you have wife, kids, whatever. They're all automatically members. Okay?
Excellent.
You get our newsletter, our email blasts. The entry for the derby itself is $40, okay? And then if you want to have a Calcutta, which is like a side bet, right? So you might not catch one of the biggest fish, but if you have the biggest fish of people that entered the Calcutta, you win $300.
That's pretty good,
Okay.
though. I mean, $300 isn't jump change. I'm
Right.
telling you right now.
And if you tag 10 or more fish and you're the biggest fish from a boat, its total prize money would be $1,200.
Nice.
If you have the biggest fish from shore, I think it's $600. So there's
nice.
there's separate shore and boat categories because bigger fish are going to be caught by boat usually.
You know, I like that you guys did that, especially now that you're saying, well, you could fish the whole Hudson.
Yeah.
So you do. You have a boat and you have a land-based competitions, right?
Right. So last year, one of our anglers, Ricky Talifaro, caught the biggest fish from shore, caught a big striper. But it was also the third biggest fish overall. So not only won first place for the shore fish, he also won third place in the boat fish, because it was the biggest. The boat is really overall, includes
Right.
shore and boat. So
Well, this is
So that
pretty
was
cool.
great.
So I want to continue on. So, guys, you heard that. You can fish anywhere on the Hudson. You want to go for the boat competition or land competition. This is pretty cool. So, Joe, you said that in order to be in that competition, it's $40 to join the club.
$40 to join the club. I mean, we have a QR code here. I don't know if you can scan in on this, but you just scan the QR code. It brings you right to our website and just fill out the form and you apply.
Oh, I thought you were going to say scan the code and you get a discount. That was almost.
No,
I thought.
almost.
Okay, so Joe, I want to ask: it's $40 to join and $40 for the competition.
For the competition.
So they need $80 total to come up with, and they're in the club and they're in the competition.
Exactly.
This is a good deal. Why? Because I'm a part of this. You get to visit. You get to say hello. Get to meet Scott. You get to meet Joe. This is a good deal. The club is a lot of fun, guys. You know what I like? I like going to the meetings when I can get to them. They've had some pretty cool guests on. I know Billy the Greek is going to be up there soon. He told me he wants to speak there.
That would be awesome. We had Bill Jacob one year with his vice president. What? I can't.
He's the president of the Montauk Surf Association,
Yes.
Surfcast Association.
Yep. And he's on tonight with us.
And he's on tonight. Yes, he is. And also, he is a part of You Guys Arts. You can tell that, right? You're affiliated with them.
Yeah, they have a Hudson River chapter now for the Montauk Surfcasters Association, which after the Billy show, when you had all three Billies at once, I joined the Montauk Surfcasters Association Hudson River thing.
So cool. So, guys, look at it, man. It's pretty cool. You know, you like fishing. You like fishing with friends, going out, having a good time. Well, on those nights you're not fishing and you get to go to the club. We all get together. I know you guys have the meetings at the
Elks Lodge in Richfield Park.
And it's pretty cool. They got a little bar downstairs. You can order a couple of drinks. You want to order food, they got food there. It's nice. Trust me. It's not just a room where you go. I'm sorry if you guys got a room and you go to meet at the clubs. We got something a little better for you. $40. That's not bad, guys. Just to join. And then you get to be in this competition. And at one time, I know that this was, I think, like one of the largest competitions, Joe, right?
You were probably more involved back then, Scott.
Yeah, at one point, there were about 780
That's a lot. That's a lot.
But back then, the rules were different.
Sure.
You know, you were bringing the fish in and having them weighed,
right,
and hopefully released. It was the fish. It was their option, but the big draw was a $100,000 prize.
Wow!
You caught a 48-inch fish that weighed that weighed 50 pounds.
You know,
on that day.
That scares me when you say 100,000. You know, who is going to get involved with this? How does that one work? That one.
Everybody came out of the woodwork, I'm told, for that one.
Yeah, because everybody thought that they could catch that 48-inch fish that weighed 50 pounds, which is very.
It's very rare. I know.
And it was early in the season too. At that point.
Wow. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
That fish in the river.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why.
And if a guy did and if a guy did show up with a 50-pounder, I know Scott would be right there going, "Where'd you catch it? What time was it?"
They were my metal detector.
Yeah, there you go.
Did you guys fish in walleye tournaments too?
You're right, lead in that belly.
Yeah.
But that was insured by Lloyd's of London. That's how much money was on the line, right? So
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, so continuing on
So
this.
this is very different than that. I mean, that also was catch and release, but you know, everybody had live wells back then or whatever.
Sure.
Try to bring the fish in.
Live
weigh
wells.
it.
We had the tube that you could put the fish in that circulated the water through.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
But it was nice because we had a lot of prizes back then.
Well,
too.
maybe we can build it all up together again one day and have it become that again, because there are more than 780 people fishing the Hudson.
Yeah.
And
sometimes it seems like there's 780 people fishing down on the Piermont.
I know, it's true, like today. Yeah, there was a lot of people
planting
around.
all those shrubs and everything along the.
They planted shrubs there. They planted the trees.
People from fishing now?
You know what? You know what I realized today was the first day that you realized that the short shrubs.
Yeah.
If it gets dark or you know, the sunlight goes down, you can trip over those, fall and crack your head. Because it almost happened to me. One of them was stepped on and crushed. You know, and I go, Are they? No, he goes, that was me yesterday. I fell. He goes, I couldn't see it. So something's going to happen, and the mayor might not be the mayor forever in Piermont. It's something like that, because they went and they overdid it. When I spoke to them, he said to me, he goes, well, no, they're not getting in your way. You're right. I go, they're not. But come back in 5 years when we can't even cast because the trees are like this next to each other. They put them right next to each other, Scott.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And then if they didn't put them close enough, they made sure they put a bush in there. It's horrible. Anyway.
got a second to talk about the tagging portion of,
Yes,
the
yes,
Derby?
yes.
So we're really delighted that this year the American Littoral Society gave us a new type of dart tag. It's a new. You don't have to put the needle all the way through the fish and then tie a knot and keep that fish out of the water for a long, long period of time.
Right.
We have a new type of tag. It's a dart tag. You just put it in the needle like this.
Let me see that, Joe. I'm going to show them.
Okay.
Let's look at the overhead on this one.
Try not to tag yourself.
There you go.
You got to zoom in.
I got to zoom in. There we go.
Try not to tag yourself.
Ow! So basically, Joe, you want to tell them what I'm holding right here? This
basically, the
Whoopsie.
Oops.
The dart
It's
tag
Okay.
goes right under the scale of the fish, and then this is what it looks like in the needle, and you push it right in. You don't have to push it all the way through, right under the scales of the fish, and then you anchor it right under these spines by here.
This thing that I have here is
Right.
the loading device, right? And
Yep.
how would you do it? You just push it in.
Push it in,
It'll grab it,
and then you
it'll
turn it, and you pull it back out,
and it'll pull it right out.
and this dart will anchor in the flesh or right on maybe between the bones of the fish here, and then you pull it out. And I
Excellent.
talked to the biologist, the marine biologist at Monmouth University, and said it's not going to hurt the fish.
Now, what's this writing here?
So that says the American Littoral Society. It's got a unique number on it. When you tag the fish, you fill out a postcard, okay? You send it into the Littoral Society. You get credit for a tagged fish in the Derby, okay? And they enter this data. I was talking to Emily McGuckin, the tagging director of the Littoral Society today at the show.
Right.
And she sends it to Woods Hole and several other institutions that collect all this data and track the migration of the striped bass. And a couple of biologists that were at the show in Edison today were also talking about them getting the data from the Littoral Society. Oh.
Brian, I just want you to know, Brian, that when Joe was coming by, he destroyed your board. There's a big dent in it. now. No, he didn't.
I'm a clumsy oaf.
No, he didn't do that. He didn't do that, Joe. Here you go, Joe.
Thank you,
Thank
Eric.
you for that nice little demonstration. And this way people can get the idea. That's why I ask you even more detailed questions sometimes, because I want them to understand. So
Thank
the
you.
tagging program starts when now?
Well, you could start tagging with these dart tags anytime you want, but if you want credit for it in the Derby, you got to. It starts April 1st when the Derby starts.
Excellent.
Okay. And Scott, I'm going to try to get you to tag some
What's
fish
the
this
credit
year.
again? What's the credit? Tell them the credit again.
The credit is you get twice the prize money. So instead of $600, if you get the big, you get $1,200.
That's pretty cool, guys. So what he's saying here is you're going to go out and you're going to tag fish. If you tag over 10 fish, Joe,
10 or more.
so you got to
It
have
has to be
10 or more in order to qualify for that double prize if you win the prize of the biggest fish caught. Correct, Joe?
Correct.
So that's it. That's right there. It's a nice program.
But we also have a prize for first and second most stripers caught. So, I mean, tagged, I mean. So you don't even have to finish first, second, third, whatever. If you tag the most stripers, you get $300 and a trip with John Tiedemann on the Monmouth University research boat to go out with him and tag stripers with some college students.
Now that
The first guy that won that was
like
Chris Palmer. They went out to tag stripers. They caught one bunker. So
Oh, really?
How many stripers did he tag?
he tagged 103 stripers. So that's why I created a
good.
second place, because Chris is undoubtedly going to probably tag the most stripers
I
again.
have to be honest that I am, it's fantasizing to me to tag something here and then having to get a phone call from somebody in Maine, even Nova Scotia, and say, hey, I caught your fish, and it's 5 years later.
Well, Keith
Well,
Bias.
three years ago, we
Go
had
ahead.
a fish tagged during the Derby, and 3 weeks later, it was caught in the Cape Cod Canal.
That's pretty cool.
From the Hudson River.
From the Hudson River. Near
3
Havner
weeks.
Straw, 3 weeks. It's in the Cape Cod Canal being caught again. That's pretty wild.
That's pretty wild, yeah.
Pretty wild. Yeah, that's really, really cool when you get that kind of a return
So,
and you see where your fish ended up. That's
You
great.
tag, Joe? Do you tag
I
fish?
do tag. I don't tag a lot, but this year I'm going to not be one of the judges, so I'm going to
Right.
be fishing in this Derby because I'm going to go after this guy. I
You
wanna
guys
take
got
this
something going on. No matter where I see you, you guys could be, hanging out fishing, or you guys can be here in the studio. You're always breaking each other's chops. I like it though, because I'm away from that.
As he does usually beat me.
I'm just. He's a
very
better
annoying.
fisherman by far. I just
Yeah.
get lucky.
Yeah,
Let me tell you about my trophy.
yeah. let me continue.
Wait, somebody asked, what if
Yeah.
you tag a fish and release him and he floats away? And John Francisconi answers, the only way the fish gets tracked is when the fish is recaptured and the person sends in the tag to the ALS.
That's
that
correct.
right?
With this type of tag, there's other types of tags that are a lot more expensive than this. But with this type of tag, you can only has to be recaptured. If it floats away and it's dead, well then it's not
That's
any
just
valid.
unfortunate.
It's
Guys,
unfortunate.
it's fun to tag. And you say, oh, what's so fun about it? I'll tell you what's so fun. Number one, they get to see, research on the fish. They get to see, okay, how long did this fish live when it was tagged? And they get a bunch of these tags together, and they come up with numbers. So it's really good to tag. At the same time, I think it's pretty cool to have a fish tagged, and then it shows up somewhere in Maine, or whether it's down south in Maryland, or even on the tippy edges of Florida. I think that's pretty cool stuff. And you're getting the phone call 10 years down the line. What's the oldest one that you've had registered there?
I don't know, but we had a guy in our club, Tony Evangelista. He used to be called Tagger Tony. He tagged so many striped bass. We have a lot of guys that tag thousands of striped bass.
I believe he's had well over 1,000 returns
As
on
well.
his tagging.
Holy
well.
smokes.
So he had the longest striped bass out there, 17 years, I think it was, before it was recaptured, and I forget how much it grew. But then somebody, a couple of years afterwards, or a few years later, broke that record. He had a fish, let's say, that was out there for 18 years. And Tony was PO'd because
really?
he goes, the guy who recaptured that fish, he didn't catch it by rod and reel. He was a spear fisherman. And I go, who cares how he recaptured it? The fact that it was, but he was
true.
upset that it beat his record, and it's out there longer than
But
his
that's
fish.
the best part. I know
Yeah.
they had the tag fish, which the what is it? The
saddle-
Long Island, the Fisherman magazine.
The
He
satellite
came-
tags.
Yes, the satellite tags, and they named them a bunch of names. And
Well,
they
the
got
Berkeley Striper Club has one. Berkeley has one. I think there's a Hudson out there.
and they got a lot of good research from what he put up on the board, and he was showing us the travel on the striped bass. I thought it was pretty cool.
Well, that's the other thing about this derby. Normally, we don't bring much money in for our club, if anything.
Right.
When we run this, right, we'll lose money. But we give a lot of money, not only prize money to the participants and as a
Right.
way of thanking them for being part of it, but we donate a lot of money to 5 different organizations that do research on striped bass, including the tagging program from Gray Fish Tag that you're talking about that the
They
fisherman
came.
does.
Didn't you guys have somebody come up that from the tagging? There was 5.
Yeah,
it was
you
a
were
group-
there. You were
I
there.
was
We had
there.
that panel, the tagging panel.
I
Somebody
remember
from
that.
we work with Roxanne Wilner from Gray Fish Tag Research,
Right,
and I
there was a
forget who the
woman
head of
there.
that-
There was a lady there too. A woman.
And Jim
was part of-
Hutchinson was part of that panel.
Yeah.
Steve Leisman. A lot of those same people gave a seminar today.
Oh, did they?
Or was it yesterday? I mean, John Tiedemann was there.
Yeah,
he hosted
yeah.
a panel talking all about catch and release, best practices for catch and release.
Nice.
And what I have also, I think I brought today. I don't know if anybody you want to give this away, whatever. We have
Okay.
Steve Leisman, who's I think MSNBC or CNBC broadcaster on
Steve Hooker.
TV for financial analyst. He gave us some of these fish dehookers, which are great for on the boat, but it has a little video on how to use them. But on the back of it, he also gave us a decal. Steve Leisman has a organization called Save a Million Bass. We give him $200
see,
from
honey.
the Derby, and it has our logo on it. But that little barcode at the end where it says "Scan Me," if you take a snapshot of that, it'll bring you to a website that gives you the 10 best practices for catch and release striped bass.
So this sticker on, is it a sticker or you
It's
get
a sticker.
to keep
It's a
it?
bumper sticker.
And you get to keep this. It's not
Yeah,
stuck
yeah.
on here.
Well, it's stapled on there just so I don't lose it.
Right. Gotcha. This is nice. Nice de-hooker, right?
Yep.
Something deep inside.
Yep.
You can
Works
get
from
to
a
use
boat
that.
or even maybe from a rock. You don't want to go all the way down on the slippery
Awesome.
rock. You could just put that in, just unhook the fish like that.
Excellent. We'll add that to the giveaway
Yeah,
today.
please. Yep.
Definitely. All right, guys. So stick around. At the end of the show, we'll have the giveaway that I said. The overhead, if you look at it again. So I have a retractable ruler, 60-inch. This is made by Rapala. We used that at the Montauk Striper Challenge a few years ago. We actually switched over to the cooler ruler, which I like very much. We also have RB Plugworks. This is very wanted stuff here. I know I bought a few of these one for myself, and obviously for you guys too. Striper Maine, it's called Striper Maine-iac. These guys' plugs I've used for a while. It's good. This one's going to fly on you. It's a nice little pencil popper in the mackerel style. It's got little glitter on it. It's got a little flag on it, green and white. Great for St. Patrick's Day today. But other than that, these are going to be the giveaways, and we'll add the ARCD hooker with that. In the back, you get these stickers and you can always scan that, and it'll bring you to that site that Joe was talking about. All right.
We have Bloodline Fishing Adventures says, I've fished with Joe Albanese and Scott Havner a couple of times. They're some great guys.
Wow.
You have fans out there.
Who's Bloodline?
Bloodline Fishing Adventures.
Left Eye Lures.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Scott, if you don't know, that's Lefty Eye Lures. He only makes one eye on the lures. Yeah, you can check it out.
I might have a couple of those.
Yeah. Those
I'll be surprised if you don't.
yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. I don't use stuff that you see here. I've used, and I've brings back memories of where I was and when I used this. And that's when I was up with the guys there. It was a good time. Okay, so I want to get over to Scott Havner. Joe, anything else you want to talk about the Hudson?
Well, let's give Scott a chance.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, because Scott's going to knock you out in a second the way he's looking at you. But, okay, so I want to get over to Scott. Scott, I know you fished the Hudson River many, many years. You fished it on the boat, and you fished it on land. A few years ago, before they closed us down over there at the Anchor, we used to meet up.
Yes.
And we had a couple of good sessions over there. And I think that's where you got that winning fish that year. Well, somewhere around that area. I don't want to say exactly, but they can't go there now anyway. It's closed off.
Yeah, legally you can't go in there. People
Yeah,
still
legally.
Go, but
Yeah, I hear you. That's all
they
right.
don't want you crossing the tracks. To
Yeah,
get there.
they were starting fires down there, and they told everybody, don't start the fires. And one got a little out of control, I guess.
Yeah, fires, the litter.
Yeah, and litter.
Unfortunately,
And,
we did it. We did a couple of cleanups there, but
Did you? Yeah, I hear you. It is what it is. I know on the weekends it was a packed area over there. So, Scott, let's get over now and talk about the striped bass. So the striped bass are entering the rivers right now. Now, you were fishing off a boat today, correct?
correct.
All right, so how would you go about attacking these fish now? Then remember, this is the start of the season. You went out there today. Obviously, you hunted them. We're not here to talk about where you caught them, but I do like to know your techniques on how you attack these fish. Do you use other techniques in other parts of the Hudson, or is it pretty much all the same and you're just looking for them? Tell us.
Personally, I prefer to fish lures over bait, and this time of the year, it's pretty much predominantly I'm throwing some type of paddle tail
Right.
or a fluke, something along those lines. And the main reason is there's plenty of other lures that will work. You could throw SP minnows, Rapalas, any of that stuff will work great. But I find, and you're catching mostly schoolie sized fish right now, there's just a chance to tear that fish up. And
Yeah.
and I don't want to press the barbs off. It's all catch and release now anyway.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun. When you find them,
Yeah.
you're going to catch a lot of them.
Yeah.
And we've got them up to about 33 inches or so.
That's
So,
pretty
a lot
good.
of fun.
That's a lot of fun, especially these fish that are coming, off of the oceans. These young males I know that are coming up. There's no reviving them. You just, you
yeah.
take a picture, you dump in the water, they're gone. They're splashing, they're gone.
Oh,
And
okay.
They're very.
my thumbs are torn up
Yeah,
from 2
yeah,
days of it.
yeah. They are. They are. I like that feeling, man. I really do.
Let
It's
you
a
know it was a
feeling of
good day.
accomplishment. Yeah, accomplishment. No doubt, Scott. It is a good day. So, on the boat, you're going out there. You said really no bait, Scott, right? You don't believe in the bait out off the boat?
Not off the boat. Not that I don't. When I'm fishing in the tournament, if you want, you can get a big one on the lure.
Sure.
But more likely, I've been out there throwing a bunker head.
Sure.
Or a bloodworm or whatever.
Sure.
out there.
Sure.
We can't,
Well, that's
they're
good.
saying they
Yeah.
can't hear Scott too good.
Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, folks.
That's okay. That's all right,
okay.
Scott.
It depends on what part of the river you're fishing, too.
Yeah,
The further north you go up near Newburgh, they're drifting bloodworms, or they're doing live herring. They'll scap net herring. Or further up, it's mainly herring.
Yeah, right.
See
It is.
guys doing sabiki rigs and scap netting.
Yeah.
herring. And
That's scat netting you're talking. Is that when you run like a shad? Because herring follow anything.
Yeah.
And then a few herring will come off that pack and follow the shad. And there's the other guy waiting there with the net.
big net.
Umbrella net. Boom. That's what I got downstairs that I use also.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Same thing, yeah.
The scap net, and they call the it's a paddle tail with no hook, basically.
Yeah, right.
Hook on it.
Exactly.
You run it through the net,
Yes.
and the other guy picks it up, and it's actually pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you get some nice live bait right there. And I know that
Yep.
live bait isn't just here in the Hudson. Live bait is everywhere. I remember I was in Gloucester, Massachusetts a few years ago, and every morning the mackerels show up, sabika rig, snag a few, put them on the hook right away. They don't last. The live bait
Yep.
is
It's
just
the same.
phenomenal.
The herring are not. The herring don't last long.
Yeah.
Either. You really
And-
gotta,
and-
you gotta
and-
have the right tank on your boat to keep them going.
Yeah, that's what it is. The mackerel, yeah, the same thing. I would throw them in a little pond of water behind me where I was. They don't last 2 minutes. They're already gone, you know. But as far as fishing with live bait, I've always believed it's the best. I like fishing with live bait if I can get my hands on it. But anyhow, going back to the boat, I like this, Scott. I like bow fishing. But you told me that you guys did really good today. You found them. How are you hunting them, Scott? Are you just going to different spots, or?
I'm looking for areas where they're going to be usually shallower water. It's warmer.
Right.
They're in there because the water's warmer. The bait's going to be in there. So you could go, and usually sometimes, or just about every time, the shallow area is going to have some type of smaller tributary coming out.
Right.
I've hit them all up and down the river, probably from Newburgh
Yeah.
all the way down past Piermont.
Very
And
good.
Some spots are better than others at times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just got to go out and look around.
That's
And
awesome.
He can
And you'll
find
find 'em.
fish. He says, "Don't you see those birds?" No, what birds? They're right there. Are you blind?
It's only because he's blind and he can't hear.
And he sees stuff. He speeds over there, and if he's fishing a spot. Usually you're a swim shad or something like that. But if he sees one or two birds dive, right away we're on top water plugs, right?
Yeah, and then he usually catches the bigger fish. So that's the problem.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Not
Scott,
really.
I only
Yeah,
do
no,
what he
it's not
tells me,
really.
and it's just
all right. So again, being back on the boat, you're searching for the fish. You find the fish. You throw your lure out there. You catch the fish. I know you're catch and release, Scott. So I know you do fish land too. You do fish off the surf. A few years ago we were
absolutely.
fishing. So when you fish the land versus the boat, you don't really use the paddle tails. Depending on where you go, you can go up to Croker or what's that?
Croton.
Croton.
Croton Point can be good if you want to throw
Yeah.
throw some artificials. A lot, like if you go down to Piermont, it's the only reason it's tough to throw an artificial is because there's usually a lot of bait fishermen around, and
Yeah, that doesn't work.
and there's a
over there.
lot of structure in the water.
Yeah.
The old piers, it's tough to bring a lure through there, but
Yeah,
you can at times if you get there when there's nobody around.
sure.
You can throw up.
I've tried so much and I can't get anything. And you know what, Scott? You're right. Because those males are so feisty, right? They were banging the rods today. There was no really bite and the soft bite. They were banging the rods. So I feel that because they're in this staging mood, whatever they're doing, getting ready, I think those, small 5-inch shad, I think will work just fine over there. I got to try it again. We'll see.
We were doing 3 to 4 inch.
Oh, 3 to 4 inch.
3
Okay.
to 4 inch shads,
Okay.
and they were working great today. And
Nice.
yesterday.
Any special preferences and colors?
No, we were trying everything. We
Okay.
got them on black and blue, purple, all the different shades of the shad
Yeah.
colors. Pearl.
But they were going for it.
When you got on them, it really
Yeah,
didn't matter.
nice.
My son was throwing a green and orange just to see if it would work.
Your son today caught a fish. Tell them about that fish. You showed me a picture.
It literally had no top part of its face was gone.
Yeah.
Like
Can
its
you put that
eyes-
on your phone?
a pug nose fish.
Yeah.
But look, while you're looking for that, this is what I was looking for. This is a fish that Scott caught from the beach.
Yeah, I remember this.
few
This
years
is
ago.
good. Guys, are you ready for this? Take a look at this. Wait, let's do the overhead better.
Yeah.
Let me do the overhead. Look at this. Wait a second.
Put it down.
No, it's going to be too far. There it goes. Come on. Zoom in. All right. Okay. Down. There it is. Best.
Oh, wow.
That is huge. Look at that fish, guys.
That fish was caught on a tiniest bit
That
of
was about a
bloodworm.
3-inch piece of bloodworm.
That big fish went
that's
for a.
big. I can imagine the eggs, and I know you safely released that back in the water.
Yep.
That's the thing that that gets me sometimes
No, that
with
thing.
these bigger fish, man. It's like, okay, yeah, excellent. Wow, guys, you got to see this one. I'm sorry I don't have these pictures already, hun. The picture's downloaded. There it is. Look at the front. The top of the fish is gone. It's gone, that piece.
It's a pug-nosed bass, I
Yeah,
think is what they
pug-nosed
call
bass.
it.
It was amazing that it could still eat. It's still out there hitting a swim shad.
Well, what happened? It was clear before.
I know.
Just tap the phone. It might.
Oh, there it is. There it
Oh,
is.
there.
Ah, there we go. Look at that thing, guys. I'm
That's a
bugging out.
weird-looking fish.
That sure is. And it was feeding,
Oh yeah.
so it's healthy.
Wow.
This is
Ready to
something
go.
I wouldn't do, but this is Scott's friend Andy. He took that photograph of Scott and superimposed his face over that fish.
Terrible. This reminds me of some other guy.
And I can't say anything bad because if he was there when I caught it. If he wasn't there, I would have never landed it. It was too far down in the rocks to get to.
Guys, anybody want to ask any questions, anything?
We
Scott-
had
yeah.
James Ferguson, who does surf and boat also. He was asking, does Scott use a side scan? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I do have a side scan, but I wasn't using it. I didn't even have it on the boat today. But the side scan will definitely help you find them.
Wow, pretty cool. There you go, James. Nice question, buddy. Anybody else? Anybody
James.
wants to ask, just put it up, guys.
Yeah. So
That's it, right? There was no other question?
that was James.
So out of 600 people in the room, we got one question.
There was not 600
We're
people.
just such good
I'm just kidding.
explainers of stuff.
Right.
Here's a question.
Here you
Total noob fishing. Any thoughts on water temperature that gets the fish exiting the rivers? Any thoughts on the water temp?
Well, let's start from the beginning. Scott, right now, I know we were talking earlier. And a good feeding, is what, 50 degrees? We're looking 55 degrees?
Yeah,
Is
you're
that
looking
the...
at 50, 55. It should really kick into gear. Right now, it's about 45. The highest I had on the screen was 49.
49.
So
Well, that's good.
You got a lot of schoolies are pouring into the river, and
Right.
those big ones are coming soon.
So when the temperature does reach, let's say 56, 57, is that exit time? Is that exit?
No, I think they're coming up to spawn.
Okay. So what was he asking, honey? What was he asking? What was that question? So
The water temperature that gets the fish exiting the rivers.
exiting the
At
rivers.
post spawn is when they exit. After they've done what they have to
Post
do.
spawn, I'd
much.
be guessing at a temp at post spawn.
Yeah,
Probably you're getting into the 60s.
maybe, yeah.
You know.
Because it's true. When do we get the fish out? All the fish are going in May.
Yeah. You'll
They're
still
slowly
get 'em
going
into-
in May.
you'll
And it's
get some
pretty
into
warm.
June.
And
there's
you'll get
always-
some into June.
And there's always fish that will hang in the river the whole year.
Right,
You get
right.
resident
The
bass.
resident bass, right.
And I was amazed last year. I mean, I'm sure Scott's known this all along, but there's a huge fishery. Those fish come back in chasing bunker in the fall, too, when they're migrating the other way. They come all the way up the river again in the fall.
Fall is the better time to fish the river for me.
Who knew that? I didn't know that.
Wow, pretty cool. Now,
for
I've
big-
heard this because I heard it from Scott a few years ago. He was telling me, and I'm like, there's no way. And he goes, yes, it's way.
Yeah.
So you want to tell people a little bit about that, Scott?
So the fall run, it's the same as the run going down the beach. If depending on the bait that comes up the river,
Right.
how far up it comes. A couple of years ago, you had full-size bunker by the millions, all the way up, pushing to the Bear Mountain Bridge, and there were fish everywhere for over a month. So it was a phenomenal. You could throw anything
Wow.
out there. We were doing giant top plugs,
caught-
everything you can imagine, and we caught a lot of big fish.
And I got
Big
a
fish.
10-pound bluefish, too.
Yep,
I'd say
and we got some
about
bluefish,
10-pound
too.
bluefish in there.
I'm
We got a few
shocked what you're
keener
telling me.
And the one year by Havner Bay, there was a dolphin right up in there, too.
There was a dolphin up there last year. This time of the year, there was a seal.
Oh,
hanging out in
wow.
Croton, on the rock at Croton.
They're getting smart over there, the seals now.
Yep. And one year there was one up by the Bear Mountain Bridge.
Wow.
Seal up there. The bait's
That's
up
where
there,
I go.
follow
I'm
it.
up at the Bear Mountain Bridge, and I like fishing the tracks over there.
Yeah, that's.
And
a
I've
good
gotten
spot.
some nice
Fish there.
fish. I got some nice fish over there. I lost a 35-pound fish there. I have that on video right there. You see it. I go down to grab it. It was huge.
Your video has a scale on it. You was able to.
No, but it was more. Listen, it was bigger. It was bigger than
true
35.
That's great
Oh,
blue
man.
claw crabs, right? The guys
That's
go
on-
through a lot of crabbing there
Yeah,
too.
there is.
Crabbing has
There is.
been wasn't great last year, but the crabbing too, going in the end of the summer into
Yeah.
September, can be very, very good.
Yeah,
We'll do that too off the boat.
yeah. The crabs are good. I know the guys. They made a few of the fellas I know that go crabbing. They made crab cakes and they brought them down. They were handing them out. They were good.
Yeah.
I
Good
found
stuff.
an old episode of Anthony Bourdain with John Vargo, who passed away. He wrote Boating on the Hudson, doing a crab bake right across the river from the power plant, Indian Point power plant.
Oh,
and they're
no
laughing.
way.
They're sitting on the beach there eating blue claw crabs.
That's
and
right
they're
at
laughing
the-
about whether they're going to glow at night when they go to sleep.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Well, he lived in Verplank, which is right across from there.
Oh,
Yeah,
pretty cool. You know, the Hudson is an amazing place. There's so many places to fish. And that's what I keep doing. Every year, I find a new place. And I try to learn that a little bit. Because every place that you go to, you know, Scott, as you say with the boat, you got to find them. And you have to know certain times of the year. Oh, they're over here or over there. So you learn over the years. And, I'm not saying I'm a professional. I'm far from professional. But over the years, fishing the areas that I have been fishing, I have knowledge of these areas now, and I know how to fish them.
Yeah.
People will always say to me, "Oh, how do you know there's going to be fish?" I go, "Don't worry, there's going to be fish here." And in the end, we catch fish. Listen, not every time you go out, you're going to get a big fish. Like you said, Scott, you went out, you had a great time today. There was, you had a few big ones in there in between. When I say big, I'm talking about 30-inch fish. But I respect that so much. People are like, "Oh, I don't know." No. If I catch a fish 25 inches, and especially when you're not catching fish, that's a great feeling, man.
To me, any fish you catch is a great fish.
It's a great fish, Scott. Absolutely.
And you let it go, maybe, that'll be a 50-pounder one day.
That's right. That's
and there's
right.
nothing wrong with keeping a few to eat. I do.
Of course.
But-
It's the law, and you're allowed, Scott. So if the law says you're allowed one a day, you're allowed one a day. Just follow the laws and don't go home with 3 a day,
Yep.
I see people fishing. It's kind of sad. You have families that come down there, and those families grew up in their waters, and they fished, and they ate, and there was never a problem. So when you come here and then somebody tells them you can't keep that, they're like, it's like a joke. They're like, "What do you mean you can't keep it?" Because I see my parents.
Doesn't compute.
What do you
Yeah.
mean? What do you mean you put the fish back? No. It doesn't make sense. Like you said, it doesn't compute. And that's the way a lot of people are. But people like us that understand the industry, that understand our sport, we try to do the best we can. And like you said, Scott, even I have kept fish before. It's a nice tasting fish when you get it at that nice size.
Yeah. Well, it's conservation. When like the big fish you showed.
Yes.
That's a fish that's loaded with millions of eggs. How
Millions.
could you not let that fish
How
go?
could you not let it go? Exactly.
Yeah.
It's an old, and you want to eat.
Yeah.
No,
No.
I'd rather eat a smaller
Yeah.
bass anyway. It's going to taste better. That's an old fish. That
Yes.
fish is 20-something years old.
People, you have to, folks, you have to understand that the bigger the fish is, just like in anything that you eat, any animal, anything that you eat, the bigger it gets, the more, tighter the meat's going to be. It's not going to be that soft, moist meat. I know I've had both. I've had people give me piece from a big fish. I'm
mean,
not
look-
saying it's bad.
Look how old Joe is, man.
Yeah, Joe.
Spoiled meat. right there.
What's that called for? Here you go. These guys from Massachusetts, these marine biologists from Massachusetts were with us, and they gave out a couple of these today. How old is my striper?
Oh, that's
kinda
pretty
interesting.
cool.
Yeah.
Do you have
Based on
extra
that.
of these?
I have a couple. I have a whole bunch, but they're all back.
Can I keep one?
Absolutely.
Great, I'll make
yeah.
a copy of this.
They
You
actually
gave me one of those.
How old
All
is
right,
my
there's one for you,
striper?
right?
The orange line represents, here, let me put this over the overhead here. Beautiful. So it says, how old is my striper? The orange line represents the average length of a striped bass caught in Massachusetts. The blue dots are the actual data from the DMF, which is,
Department of Natural whatever.
there you go, aging lab based nearly on 8,000 fish. So that's pretty cool. I like that. The striped bass is a beautiful fish. Many people love to hunt it. And you follow all the laws that are placed on these fish, and it's going to be there in, the fish will be there in place for future generations to come, your kids, their kids, and it'll be there forever, man, if we just follow the laws. Go ahead, Joe.
Tom Hood is asking, is there a boundary on the Hudson for a freshwater license, or does saltwater license good in all the areas?
You can answer that.
I'm not sure where the cutoff is.
The way I understand it, if you're fishing, say you're fishing for catfish in the river, if you keep a catfish out of the river, you better have a fishing license. Fishing for stripers, I think the boundary, I'm not 100%.
I know it.
Is Tappan.
It is.
Is the Tappan Zee Bridge.
Yes.
And you need a marine registry.
Saltwater registry.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
for
They
New
say
York.
above
Which is free.
the
Yeah.
Tappan Zee
Marine.
is the fresh, and below it is the marine, like you said, Scott.
So
Yeah.
if you're going to go, you just get the license. It's $25
Yeah.
if you're a resident.
But the New
20
York
Sorry.
season, which starts April 1st, is for above the George Washington Bridge, right? I think it's above the George Washington Bridge. Or is it April 15th?
I think it's April 1st.
It's
April 1st, right?
April
Which is
1st, yeah.
That's when your
first day of our
starts.
derby. That's right. First day of the derby.
Now
For
I
that
can
reason.
see why Scott breaks your balls. Here. I can understand that.
That's your fault.
You know?
These biologists also started a brand new program. They're trying to expand. It's not brand new. They've had it up in Massachusetts. They try to get people to become citizen scientists. They give you a kit with a thermometer and all kinds of things to measure the temperature of the air, the water. They'll give you a pair of pliers, all kinds of stuff to keep track of, the conditions under which you catch a striped bass. Then you submit the data to them, and at the end you get some sort of a thank you. I forget what they said it would be. But that's a whole new program, which is pretty cool. I signed up for it today, so I don't know.
You can put that back, honey. John Kirianis.
Oh,
Thank you for that, John. You're very, very nice to do that. John Kirianis last week won the VS 200 reel Bayless model with the Genesis ODM rod, 11-footer, moderate action. I think that was, John, maybe you can help me. I think it was a 2 to 6. I'm not sure. Johnny will put it up in a little while. But you are well-deserved of that, my friend. You've come to my channel, and you've been here every week for a very long time. Thank you so much for that, John. We appreciate you. We take donations here on the channel. We don't make money.
Super chats.
Super chats. So buy up all the super chats, put it on your credit card, and don't worry about it. I will be happy, I promise. No, I'm just kidding, guys. So help us out if you can. We do take donations. I work very hard at this with my wife to get the guests, to get the people to come on, to get you guys some knowledge and hopefully some good times in between.
Hey, Danny D was asking, where can he get that chart you were showing? What was?
That's he's talking about the how old
Where
is
do
my
you get
striper?
I have several of them. They promised to send me a link to
Danny,
their page, so I
Danny.
will
Okay.
try to get that to you guys. I don't know what it is right
Okay.
now. It's just-
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Now I can see really why Scott and Havner are breaking balls over here. But don't worry, I have
Hey, who
this.
brought you the
I'll
news first? Me,
I'll make
not
copies. John Kirianis, thank you for that. That was a 1 through 6, absolutely beautiful rod. Thank you for that, John. I appreciate you. Go ahead, Joe.
So we got a bunch of things coming up on our calendar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next thing that's up for us is our first Youth Angler Program event. We're partnering with the Westchester County Park System, April 6th. Scott and Andy and a bunch of people will be there helping kids learn how to fish the Hudson River.
Okay, stop right there. So, this is good for the kids, right?
Yes,
the
this is for
parents
the
are going to
kids,
be
the
there.
parents. Yep.
So it's good that do they have to be a part of any organization? They could just show up.
They had to sign up for it through the Westchester County Park System, and they had to register. It's filled up right away in like a week.
I think it is.
Wow.
I think it's 50 or
50 people, and we hope
50 kids.
to grow it next year. I decided.
Oh, so you put the limit at 50.
Well, they put it at 50, and then they came to me, should we do more? And I said, I want to make sure it goes smoothly.
Yeah,
I don't want to send
understand,
anybody
Scott,
away
now, everything.
disappointed.
Could have had more money coming into the club.
Scott
You
said,
ruined
raise
it.
it, have more. I'm like,
I told him to raise it, he wouldn't do it.
But I imagine if people show up with a kid and they want to sign a waiver, they can fish right then. We'll take
Right.
them. You know, if we're not overwhelmed.
Cool,
But Scott's lined up a bunch of people to help already.
I
so.
know that you guys run some nice competitions. It's very well organized. I like that, man. You guys care in the club. I know you put in a lot of time, Joe, with the club, being the president and all. And you do a magnificent job. You stay young looking at late 40s all the time, you know? That's one good thing about him. Everything sucks, though. You were right, Scott. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Joe's very nice. Very nice.
Mona,
very
where
nice.
are you? Help me.
Mona's going to be like, I want to cook that poison.
She's listening, by the way, so watch it.
Hi, Mona. How are you? Oh, my God. Look at this. We got Willie J.
Thank you, Willie J.
Willie J, thank you so much for that. And Michael Mimo, what can I say? Guys, if you were on Instagram, you can see that mammoth fish that Michael was posting. Nice fish, Michael. That was nice and nicer donation. Thank you so much. And to Willie J. You guys are fabulous. Willie J, a couple of weeks back, won the custom ODM rod, the Genesis, the same one. I know he met up with GW Customs over there in Massachusetts. And good for you, Willie J. Thank you again so much. And Michael Mimo, I can't say enough, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you over and over again to you. Thanks.
What is Edwin asking here? How does Mr. P rank as an angler in the club?
On a scale from Guggen to Billy the Greek. Don't tell them. Now you did it, Edwin.
Oh, no.
This is it. This is the end of the show. Last show right here.
Top-notch angler.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
real top notch.
I learned everything from Mr. Poseidon.
The king of the ocean. That's what it is.
Yeah.
He's
This is gonna
he's
call.
the prince of the
That's cute.
Hudson because
Yeah.
John Franciscone is the king of the
All
Hudson.
right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, I know I'm gonna owe you for this one, Scott. I know it.
Very cute.
We also we have our annual awards dinner. If I can keep going
Yes,
on our calendar,
yeah.
That's April 14th at the Cornetta's in Piermont.
Yep.
I'm hoping you guys can show up. You said
That's
we
I
might do it.
checked the calendar date. That's the show we have.
Yep.
So what I'm thinking of doing is maybe we'll show up. We'll get the thing. We'll eat what we can, and at 6.
And both.
I'm pretty sure that the last dinner will be served before 6. They're not going to serve it at 7
I don't
o'clock.
like to call it the last dinner.
Yeah.
We'll be served before.
the Last Supper.
The Last
right?
Supper, right. So that'd be great if you show up. We're going to
Yeah.
give Pete Barrett, who maybe
Yeah.
a lot of your listeners know Pete Barrett. He writes a lot of articles, mostly on fly fishing lately, it seems, for On the Water magazine.
Okay.
But he started our chapter, the New Jersey chapter of the Hudson River Fishermen's Association. And without Pete Barrett, there would be no Hudson River Fishermen's Association anymore to this day. He started it after he met Robert Boyle, the founder of the club. And so he's going to receive our Lifetime Achievement Award, called the Robert H. Boyle Lifetime Achievement Award. He lives in Florida now. He might not come up for that,
Right,
but
right.
you know, we're hoping that it's going to be a really great
That's
event.
pretty nice, though. I like
It's
that.
a great restaurant
Yeah.
with a great view right by the
Yeah, it's a
Tappan
good
Zee
time.
Bridge. And it's a
Right.
good time. We give raffles and 50-50s and all
I
that.
can't wait. I will show up for that, Joe. I definitely will.
And then one more thing, because
Yes,
it leads
go ahead.
into what
You
I
could
wanted
take
to really
10
do.
more things.
Okay, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So we have our annual Hooked on the Hudson. That's April 27th. That's an event for families and kids. That's right at Ross Dock, which is the Palisades Interstate Park, right by the George Washington Bridge. Right.
Yep.
All our volunteers set up a tent. We do cooking. We have fishing clinic and derby for the
provide
kids.
all the rods and reels and bait for the kids to fish.
You guys
Give
listening,
away
this is
When is that?
prizes.
this is good stuff. Go
April
ahead.
27th. Hooked on the Hudson, Ross Dock, Palisades Interstate Park. It's going to be our 37th year doing this.
Holy
37
smokes.
years.
Yep.
And this is all started from the gentleman in Florida again?
Pete Barrett.
Pete
Barrett didn't start Hooked on the Hudson. It came after he maybe left or retired from the president, being the president and all that. But
'Cause we've been around for 60
something. We started in
62
1966, so we've been around a long time.
Pretty cool.
And all the organizations that are out there with a band of lawyers and paid staff, big organizations, the River Keeper in Hackensack, Hudson River Keeper, the Bay Keeper, all the Water Keeper Alliance, they all have paid people with lawyers that continue to go after the polluters. But all those organizations spawned from our organization's founder, Robert H. Boyle. He envisioned this idea of a river keeper going up and down the river to patrol the river looking for polluters. And they had a program where they had postcards that said bag a polluter. And people that found a polluter and turned it in, they got a bounty for finding that polluter, of any money that was recovered. And
Joe,
so that spawned this whole environmental
I have to tell you something. I know you are the president of the Hudson River Fishermen's Association, but right now you've enlightened me so much. You know, you're very knowledgeable in the club. You should be. You are the president, but I'm hearing all this stuff that I haven't heard before. It's very interesting,
By the
Joe.
time I learn everything I should know, my term will be over. But I'm learning more and more.
Do you guys have like, is there a limit term?
Three-year term.
Oh, really? And then somebody
there
has to
wasn't a
change?
limit until Joe became president. Then we put a limit.
We shortened.
And we shortened the term.
Oh, shoot. Any questions, honey, coming in? We need to bag a poacher, John Franciscone.
Yeah.
John
So
catches
right,
all
John.
of them.
So right, John.
John will go right up to them and go, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go. Get out.
And Alex Spindleman says,
All
I
right,
taught you everything you know, Scott.
He was fishing with me today.
You think he busts my balls? You should see those two guys go at it.
Yeah. Very nice. Very
He
nice.
outfished me. He
he's-
was the high hook today.
He's also an excellent fisherman. I know him very
good
well.
fisherman,
And his
yeah.
father,
He
Charlie.
knows. Yeah,
Unfortunately,
definitely.
yes. He's pretty damn
Yeah,
good.
yeah, he
I
is.
hate him. Yeah.
So
all
I
right.
mentioned Pete Barrett. Pete Barrett mostly writes about fly fishing right now in
Yes.
the magazines, right? And so we were happy to have him maybe win this award at the Lifetime Achievement Award because it also coincides with our club starting a fly fishing category, a saltwater fly fishing category. We have a couple of these hats that I gave to Eric tonight. If you wanted to raffle them off, you can give them to people. But I know a lot of people in this audience are surf casters, maybe not necessarily fishing from boat all the time.
There's a lot.
or
There's a
from
lot of
fly.
the guys are freshwater, too. I know so many. But, listen, we are the surf fishing community on here. That's what you got to expect.
Our club does freshwater derbies too during the year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But May 4th, we have our fourth annual fly fishing derby on Sandy Hook. We don't know whether it will be
That's not with the gentleman who's part of the club.
Michael Sardinas, our vice president, runs this. He's trying to promote fly fishing in saltwater. So he brought this on board. And actually, he had his first derby, I guess, 4 years ago. Oh, 3 years ago. This is the fourth, or 4 years ago.
Yeah, who won that?
Oh, who won that? I wonder who won that.
You brought the trophy.
Scott's shaking his
You
head.
brought the trophy here to show this trophy. Scott.
This is Joe. Have you seen my trophy out there?
First place.
Let's show Joe's trophy that he won right here.
Joe, have you seen my trophy, Albanese?
Yes.
There you go.
Where's the picture with you and Stephanie? You got to show that picture. But anyway,
I like the part where Scott
That
was
is even
shaking
in that
his,
trophy. It's a different trophy.
I
It's-
like
it's
the
a different
part where Joe was shaking his head. That was funny.
Scott.
I mean, Scott, sorry. Very
I
That's
brought that
nice.
for Scott's
Very nice. I
benefit,
like this
just to
stuff.
rub it in. Well, he hasn't.
Plastic gold.
He wasn't in this one, so I didn't.
Yeah. I didn't fish in that one.
But that was the only fish caught. It was only a 22-inch bass, but a 22-inch bass on a 9-weight fly rod was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I
It
can
was a lot of
imagine,
fun.
fly rods definitely.
That was my first striper on
You'll
a fly
feel
rod,
it.
and it was
Really?
great. Yeah.
Awesome.
We have surf fishing with Bayside Dave is asking, can you guys talk about targeting bass in the summer, bays and inlets?
That's-
Usually not fishing bays.
That's
in the
Bayside Dave's category.
We've had Bayside Dave
we've
on the
had
show
Bayside
He's
Dave.
great.
He's
twice
another
on. He's
excellent
another very knowledgeable guy. He knows his stuff. I love having him on the show. And I told
Very
him
nice.
this summer again he's going to be on. He's a fluke fisherman.
He's a great teacher.
Yeah, he's a great teacher.
He was with us teaching how to fish for blackfish, and he brought all his fishing gear, demonstrated how he does everything, sort of like you did with the ice fishing demonstration you gave at
You
one
do
of our
ice
meetings.
fishing?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Talk to me about ice fishing, because that's what I want to do next year. I'm
Well, you
definitely
gotta
gonna.
come out.
Yeah.
First, we need ice.
Yeah,
I didn't go at all.
Number
this year.
one.
yeah. You didn't go at all.
No, I didn't. I would have had to travel, and I just couldn't get away.
I just couldn't do it
Boring.
because of my,
But,
literally shit going on. But I couldn't do it because of that. But next year I'm gonna go with her in the tents.
I have everything.
Oh, really, Scott?
Yeah, I got the heaters, the tents.
Wow,
I got
that's
enough
pretty
gear
cool.
for about 20 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you dig your own hole, just like we see on the videos, all
I
that
got
good stuff.
everything.
Wow.
And the ice I
Grill
hear has to
augers,
be
electric gas augers, hand augers.
very
Yeah.
nice, very cool stuff. I like that. Go
I'm,
ahead.
I'm hoping
I
that
like how we went from fishing Bayside Dave wanted
Yeah.
to know about. We really at the end around it ice fishing.
right. How did I do
went
that?
right-
Sorry, Dave.
Sorry, Dave.
Dave used to like me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But normally in the summertime, I'm fishing for fluke, particularly in the back bays, because I
Right.
think maybe the water's just too warm back then, and they don't want to put extra stress on the fish and catch a fish and have it out of water for any period of time. During the water is warmer.
Sure.
But I'm hoping if we get to do ice fishing again, which I hope we will get cold weather, I'd like to do a trip to Pennsylvania, whatever that lake is where they have hybrid stripers and fish for hybrid
Well, they got
stripers.
their guy caught a 25 or 30 pound striper through the ice
It's in my-
last year. I can't think of the name of the lake, but they have.
I
the
know Delco Joe's down
inland
there.
stripers. They're not hybrids. They're
Delco, maybe you know the place they're talking about. He's down in Pennsylvania area.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of the reservoir, but it can be done.
But the first time I ever went ice fishing was with Scott, and I caught a stringer full of fish, panfish, which I never fished for since I was a teenager or even younger, right, young kid. And out of the cold water, those panfish, you're out of the water for hours. You bring them home, they still flop when you try to clean them. But they were delicious. They were so good eating.
Yeah.
Best time of the year to eat a fish out of fresh water is through the ice. Cleanest the water ever is.
Yeah, right.
The meat is tighter on the fish. The water's
Wow.
32, 33 degrees.
You hear that, guys? So if you go ice fishing, get ready. If you catch some fish, you're gonna have some tasty meal right after that. That's for sure.
Yeah, but
Oh man.
but going back to summertime
Yes.
fishing, like where the Hudson. So going back to the Hudson River, some of the
Come close.
Some of the cooler fishing I've done
Yeah.
during the summer on the river is you can catch channel cats, and you'll get bluefish throwing spinners.
Yeah, I never heard of that before. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Caught 15-pound channel cats throwing a MEP spinner.
Oh wow.
And you'll catch a bunch of them too. And in between, you might catch. A lot of times we get the baby stripers.
Yeah.
Catch perch. We've caught up to 4 or 5 pound bluefish, and this is going, up near in the Haverstraw area
Sure.
of the river, and they're in there. And certain times, depending on the bait in the river, you'll catch the gator blues will be up by the Tappan Zee Bridge.
I have to say something, Scott. It's not really going off. It's about the Hudson still, but I would say, let's say 6-7 years ago, I would fish the Hudson. I'd catch a ton of schoolies, tons of Piedmont in February.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, these things have all changed. The schoolies have gotten less. The bigger fish have gotten bigger. I don't know if that's a good thing, but then I meet you and you tell me, hey, I did 200 fish or whatever your amount is that you catch.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good. I don't know. They say that the schoolie population is down. Is that, I don't know.
I don't know that either.
Yeah.
Well,
I know I catch a decent amount of fish. But
Yeah. Yeah, I get
I'm
it.
not the one out there doing the count.
It's
I don't even know how
changed.
they do the count.
It's
or how they
changed.
come up with some of their information.
We had our own pools, and I remember this guy, Jay, won one year with a 29-inch striped bass. Every year they kept getting bigger. We went from schoolie size, 20, 22 inches. Then the next year would be 22, 23, and the next year would be 24, 25. And now we're at the point, we're catching some nice fish, man.
big fish. Yeah.
It's amazing to me. To me, it's amazing.
But supposedly that tight limit, 28 to 31 inches, that's supposed to protect the 2015 and 27 year class. Somehow they figured that was a bad, year for spawning for stripers, and that's what they're trying to get to rebound somehow.
I don't
I'm not
understand
sure.
why don't they just go full force? But you know what? There is the boat industry, and they bring people out. People go out to bring a striper home as the prize to have a dinner with it too.
Yep.
I guess they couldn't do that. That's another business that's in the $1 billion market probably with all the boats.
Well, the striper is probably the most sought after saltwater, especially on the Northeast.
Right,
You know,
definitely.
it's people are traveling. We got guys in our club that go. They follow the run up and down the coast. They'll down south, follow it straight up to Maine.
Yeah.
You know, doing surf and boat.
Yeah. 2 years ago, I did the whole thing. I went from Delaware all the way up to Maine. I didn't go to New Hampshire.
Wow.
And I did that. I got a striper in every state there. But, you know, I do it mostly not because I just want to catch a striper. I mean, it's fun. You're going fishing, you're going somewhere new, and you get to do scouting. And the next day when I went in the tackle shop when I was in Maine, they go, well, what area did you go to? And I showed them on the map. And they go, don't go back there again. And I go, why? They have bears over there. So I was like, you know, okay, did they really have bears? Because I was catching fish over there.
Like the bear that they saw down by Sandy Hook last year that was roaming around all over the place, they claim.
Can you imagine?
Just to keep people away from their spot.
Exactly.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Was
exactly.
true?
Yeah.
I dealt with, I think it was Red Top up there. Nice
at the
tackle
canal,
shop.
yeah.
They were great. They helped me out. The whole works. They were good people. Those people were really good to me. I'll never forget that. Left Eye Lures. I met all the buddies up there. Oski 007. He's up at the canal also. Maybe this year we're going to meet up. I know I'm going to be up there this year sometime in August. You guys fish the canal also?
I never have, but it's on the bucket list.
Yeah, it's a
have
nice
3 or
place
4
to go.
times.
We went with my wife and another couple. We went in August. We stayed at what's the place called, honey?
I don't remember. Was it
The
it was a
American
Marriott.
Heritage?
A Marriott of some.
Oh, okay, whatever. But it was nice. It's a nice hotel. You go with you bring your wives, your girlfriend. It's nice. And you spend, we get up early. We go fishing all day. And then at night,
So
we go out with the ladies and have a little
So
dinner.
talk about your Piermont trip your event that I signed up for the other day. When's that?
That
That's
thing's going down the tube so fast right now.
Why? Because I signed up.
I'm kidding.
They're running scared,
Yeah.
are they?
No,
They're
no,
afraid
no.
of me, huh?
April, yeah, that's what it is.
Like,
Scott
Joe's
put the
confused.
word out, and especially now that they all know.
Saw the trophy, right?
Yeah.
He's bringing his fly rod. Yeah.
Holy shit. Oh, man. Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about the Montauk Striper Challenge that's happening, guys.
Wait, he's
I
asking
meant the
about
Piermont,
Piermont.
one first. That one's up first, right?
Oh,
the Piermont
yeah,
one?
I'm sorry. We're talking about the Piermont Striper Challenge. That's coming up April 20th. We're going to have, food, the works, $1,500 first prize, $750 second, $250 third. You can bring your kids as long as they're accompanied by a guardian. They're into the competition. They have their own junior prize of $250. It's going to be a great time. The food is always absolutely the best with me. I don't skimp on the food. I go the best. So, and again, this year it's going to be the same thing. Let's just hope we have better weather than last year. We had terrible weather last year, but it was a phenomenal day as far as fishing in Piermont that day. Great fish, great big fish. I know the winner, Ronnie M. Bunker Chunk for dinner, won with a 42-inch striped bass. And he had back-to-back, Scott, you'd like this one, 41 and 42 back-to-back. Right by the rocks where the year before, who won? Your buddy won.
Rick Hernandez? No.
No, your buddy that you were fishing with today. His son.
Charlie, Alex?
Yeah, I think it was Charlie who caught that fish
wow.
that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won the competition,
that happen.
something. He was there. He was there fishing with his son. That's when I met Alex the first time.
Yeah, okay.
You were there that year. You were fishing with Sebi. I
With
think
Febby?
Febby or...
Febby with an F.
And then I found out that all the burgers, you brought them home and you fed them to your dogs. Scott, is that true? That's
All
all
the
right.
burgers.
Yeah, because we had so much food. We had, and we really weren't, I was giving out burgers to
He's
everybody.
running
on
up
the
and
pier.
down the pier, giving out free food.
Oh,
free
wow.
burgers.
I
Everybody.
remember that.
But
Yeah, Delco Joe, thank you so much for that.
how
You're a
to
good guy.
join Stay Bent Fishing. So in the description of this video is the link to eventbrite.com where you can register for the Piermont Challenge for April 20.
April 20.
Yeah.
There you go.
Delco Joe says he's coming to Piermont.
There you go, Joe.
Cool,
Let's
cool.
go, Joe. Yes,
Hey,
sir.
Mike Kish, welcome
And
back.
the money you bring in, you give it to the police department,
Yes,
right?
any money that's left over, like the first year we had $800 left over. I donated it to the. Thanks for this, Joe. I forgot the most important part. I donated it to the Piedmont Police Department. That's the PAL, right? The Police Athletic League.
League.
And last year we donated. We actually made $11.75, and my wife bitched, so I kept $75, and I donated $1,100 of it to the Piedmont Police Department. Look, we do a lot, and I understand her. We do a lot. You know, we put in our own money a lot of the times. What we're trying to build here isn't something that I'm going to become rich on. That will never happen. What we're trying to build is I want to be able to do these competitions for you guys and have all the money come in, and I could do even better things for you guys. So that's what I'm trying to build here. And it's working. I'm telling you, it's working. Thank you to everybody out there who's been a part of the channel since the start. Thank you so, so much. Grandpappy says, Poseidon, the S is with a money sign. It says, keep the extra money. Thank you, buddy. You're good, Mr. Grandpappy. He was there
Okay,
a few years
James
ago. Yeah.
Flynn asking, why is there commercials during the live stream?
Commercials?
On your live stream, right?
On the YouTube.
Commercials pop up sometimes, and I notice when that happens when I'm
Yes.
watching, all of a
Yes.
sudden it goes back 5 minutes on your.
Oh,
and I'm watching the
and you
same
have to
thing
catch up.
over again. Yeah,
Yeah, you can move the red line over to the furthest to the right to
Okay.
go up to
get back to
up
where
to the minute.
Back to the minute.
But look,
okay.
But
the-
listen, when the commercials do come on, I didn't know this, but now I know. When they come on, watch every freaking second of it. Everything. That is where I make
You
my
can-
money on.
No.
That is where you have to do that for me, all right?
You can skip them. There's 3 levels. There's
Everybody
conservative
skips them.
and medium and aggressive. I have it on the lowest, on
Yeah.
the most conservative,
Yeah.
so that there's not as many interruptions. But yeah, like it says here, it's John McDowell says that's just a YouTube thing.
Yeah, that's it. That's right.
It's Zeus's decision, not Mr. Poseidon. Thanks, John.
It says, Bill Jacobs says, tap on live to go back.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bill. Okay.
The striper hunt, he saw me going for it. Cheers, buddy. Thank you for that.
Edwin says, I don't get any ads. Oh, Edwin has YouTube Premium, I think.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's nice. Well, Edwin, get rid of YouTube Premium because I need you to
He's
watch my
paying
ads.
for it.
No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm
he-
kidding.
So
kidding.
if I could jump in again.
Come on in, Joe.
Okay. So in June, the Saturday before Father's Day, I know you were with Beast River Fishing
Yes, he
for their
does the event.
special event. I'm
Yeah.
hoping to get them to come talk, Elliot or
Sure.
TC to come talk to us in June. Hopefully that happens. But regardless, I think we want to have, it's on our calendar to partake in that day somehow.
Nice.
Going over there, rods and reels, and a couple of volunteers to
Yes,
help.
yes.
I hope that day happens. You keep me in the loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Waiting
are.
to
It's
hear.
gonna happen. It's
Okay.
gonna. They think this year is gonna be their 5th annual. They do really nice stuff, Scott. They had a whole thing. Every kid got a fishing rod, and you could see the joy in the kids.
Yeah.
I want to go
met-
fishing. I want to go.
I
fishing.
met them at one of our events.
Ah, that's right. The one I wasn't at. That's right.
Is we do an event again. We're doing it again
Yeah,
in
good.
East Harlem Piers, which is great for me because then I just walk a block up
Right.
to Dinosaur Barbecue and we're done, and it's a great barbecue.
awesome.
But no, it's a great event, right? Scott's there every year.
You guys too. You have. I know you have food at your events. I remember. Right? Am I right?
Yeah, usually something.
Yeah, you have something.
Sometimes.
Yeah, something.
A couple of hot dogs in the park. We're out. You got a problem? There's water over there at the water fountain.
If you really want to eat good, come to Mr. Poseidon's.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's we do take care of the good food. That's for sure.
Oh, we have a question from
Yeah.
Big Sister of Wolf, Joe and Scott.
Okay, hold on. I want to let them know. Big Sis of Wolf of Rhode Island. That's Charlie the Wolf of Rhode Island. Last year he passed away. Scott. He is a legend. This guy, 45 years old. He worked on the commercial boat industry where he took out charters by Block Island. 60-pounders over there is like,
Wow.
you know.
Wow. Yeah.
So he passed away last year. Rest in peace, Charlie.
Rest in peace.
Bruce Bain introduced me to him. Bruce Bain, and I know you guys know him, the president of the Narragansett Fishing Club there. He introduced me to him. Charlie was a wonderful guy, very hard fisherman to fish with. He was tough. He was very, very tough. If you didn't do something right like you're supposed to be doing, you were going to hear it from him, but he knew what he was doing. Every time I went with him, we caught fish. I was shocked. And every time he wasn't there and I was trying alone, I caught nothing. And I tried to imitate him, but he knows the area very well. Excellent fisherman. So let's get back to that question from Big Sis Wolf. And that's his sister that we're talking to now. Go ahead.
Joe and Scott, what are your earliest memories? What got you started fishing?
Fishing with my grandfather in Pennsylvania for trout.
Ah.
Yeah.
So was that freshwater?
Not fly fishing, but
Spinning rod.
he had a trout stream ran through his property, and it was stocked every year. And we would go down and catch them, and then I got the bug. And it was my mom who took me before I could drive.
Very
My mom
cool.
still is an avid fisherman. She loves ice fishing.
Ah,
She's
very
80 years
cool.
old. She's out drilling holes in the ice.
Really?
She's
She was
amazing.
out there this year.
She is
She
amazing.
went ice fishing this
Amazing.
year. I didn't even get to go.
80 years old. The
Wow.
one day we're out on the ice when the ice is really slick and very
Yeah,
windy,
yeah.
and she has a little pop-over tent that's just like a sled that she'll sit in to get out of the wind,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. So
Wow,
so
Scott,
I'm
80 years old.
Yeah,
She's
so
going
I'm
nice.
sitting in my tent and I'm fishing, and I just hear my mother cackling and laughing.
Yeah.
And I look out the window next to me, and there she goes. And it was blowing like 25, 30 miles an hour, and she's just flying across the lake.
The wind is blowing her across the whole
Yeah.
lake, and I'm going,
She's
oh my
laughing,
God,
and
there
you can
goes Linda.
see that her jig is bouncing behind her on the ice.
Oh,
So she pulled it
no.
right out of the hole she was fishing.
Oh, my
And
God.
I'm like,
Honey,
I'm like,
honey,
are you
I wa-
okay? Yeah.
I want to go ice fishing. Next year, we're going to go. I want to go.
All right.
Mona has gone.
I wanna
Even
go.
Mona has gone. And she's
She
gotten
liked
into
Do you
it for
stay
a
in the
while.
tents overnight, Scott? Inside the tent?
I have the stuff to do it, but
Yeah.
the last 2 years, it just
Yeah, you
hasn't
didn't.
been good enough to do it.
I know there's places in Canada, pretty cool stuff. They're like bungalows on the ice.
Yes.
And all you do is go in the bungalow, nice and warm, in your pajamas, open up a hole in that they pop out, and you fish right there.
Oh, but they have the campers, like the ones you would camp in
Yeah.
the summertime.
Yes.
They pull them out. In
I love
Minnesota,
that.
These like they pull them out and they are on hydraulics and they lower it to the ice. They undo the hole. They drill the hole, and you're sitting on your couch watching TV and jigging for a walleye.
Holy
you know?
smokes.
The first time I went ice fishing was with Scott, and
Yeah.
I think that year is when he was talking about going up to Minnesota to go into the ice fishing extravaganza, which has 10,000 holes drilled in the ice the night before the tournament. It's a party weekend, and but you fish for 3 hours.
Yep, it's
Right.
a 3-hour derby. About 10,000 fishermen. They drill about 20,000 holes because you can fish two holes.
We did that several
20,000.
years, and I'm like, can't wait to COVID hit and the whole thing changed. But hopefully, and this year they didn't have enough ice even up there.
Yeah.
But we hope to be able to do that again.
That
That's
makes
a
me
lot
think,
of fun.
you
That's
know,
a lot of fun.
When you say 20,000 holes, I mean, if you took a piece of metal and you made holes in it, many, many of them, you're weakening that structure. I mean, is it like that? Is it so many people around each other?
Well, the ice has to be 21 inches thick for them to hold the derby.
Holy
So
smokes.
I drove my truck out there the last time we were there and drove around it because it's a set fishing area. First come, first serve. You have to catch the
Pretty
fish
cool.
in that
I
area.
like that
That's a
kind of
fun
stuff.
event. We had a blast. It was
Yep.
great.
I love outdoor wilderness, the fishing, on the beach, hanging out a night or two. I love that.
Yeah.
It's my
Well,
favorite.
We were staying in a townhouse on the lake. It
Ah.
we
Wasn't
weren't
that
roughing
that rough?
It was what? It was what?
it. We weren't roughing
Wasn't
it.
that rough? In a townhouse, we had a couple of townhouses right on the lake that we stayed in. But that fishing tournament, you can't use a tent. You have to actually, those 3 hours, you have to be sitting on a bucket or something like that. You got to be out in the exposed to the environment. What?
Yeah, read that Brian Hamlet comment. The last one, yeah.
A lot of guys fell in this year due to lack of thick ice up north. Ugh.
Wow.
Yes, that's true.
Yep.
No way.
Yep, a few people died.
I hate to break this up, but can we go back to saltwater striper fishing for a
Sure.
minute?
Okay, yeah.
Sure.
Me. It's all about me.
No, I
That's it.
wanted to thank. I don't know if Bruce Bain is on.
I
You
will
mentioned
not-
Bruce Bain,
Before-
Narragansett
Yeah.
surf.
Yeah.
Before
Okay,
before
go.
Bruce Bain, I can understand you 100% now. Not even 90%. Oh my goodness now. Joe. We're bothering Joe here. Go ahead, Joe. Go
So
ahead.
today you gave me the kit that he sent. me.
Yes,
Bruce
yes.
Bain found out about a program run by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, NYS, I guess it's New York.
Yes.
No, he's in Narragansett,
Yeah.
Rhode Island,
Okay.
where you can collect a scale from the striped bass that you catch, and you can release it, and put the scale in this envelope and mail it in, and they'll tell you about the striper, how old it was, et cetera, because you can learn a lot from looking at the
The scale.
scale.
Guys, another cool thing. Can I see that, Joe, please? Thank you.
And it has a question there about sex. I don't know what that means. What they're
Basically,
asking.
it's a little,
Sex, yes.
Sex, yeah.
Yes,
That's how I
there you
usually
go.
answer that. Yeah.
there's a question in here.
I don't think there's anything in there. It's just
There's a little man in there, and it says, don't listen to Joe. No, It says here, it's a little yellow envelope, and it says, New York State Department of Environmental Conservation fish scale envelope. So basically, you got the date, you got the collector who collected it, what type of species is it, what kind of gear. When it says gear, are they asking for what gear you caught it on?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Lure,
It says the
whatever.
water, I guess the water, where, that would be the Hudson River. And the length, the weight, the sex, the cap, the released, and the remarks on there. Well, this is pretty cool. I like that.
see.
And then they send you back
I don't
how
know.
many years.
I'll find out more as I
Well.
get into it. Just I know Bruce sent me this, so
Yeah.
I'm going to find out more about it. But
That's
this is pretty cool. I think.
Yeah, it is. It is cool. Anything else in that pile you got over there? Looks like we're going to get it.
That's my
See
bag
that
of
in your
tricks.
bag.
Everybody
That's
always
okay.
asks, "Can I eat that striper from the river?" Right? This is something that.
Oh,
and
no.
you
You
just-
can eat the striper from the river, guys. It's not from the river. It's from the ocean.
A lot of the fish are from the ocean, and in the springtime you can tell that. How?
Well,
Scott,
it's-
give him more an explanation,
A
because
lot
I
of-
don't know.
A lot of the fish we caught over the weekend had the sea lice on it. So I would say 80% of the fish we caught had sea lice.
That's
which
pretty cool.
means they came in from the ocean.
Absolutely.
They're not, but we did catch fish. The fish usually stay in the river for the first 2 years.
Sea
Of their
lice.
life.
That sounds.
It's just like a red.
Yeah.
But they come off as the season goes along, right? When in
Yeah.
the spring that they're on there, hitching a free ride for a while wherever they're
Yep.
going, and they come off.
Right.
They don't. I don't know if they penetrate the fish at all, but they're hanging on there somehow.
No, they don't. They just hang on for dear life, right?
Like
All right,
Joe.
so we've been on now. We're just extended it over to an hour and a half, but slowly I want to start finishing it off. Plus the guys, I know they love their giveaway. It's a nice giveaway added on tonight. You've added on the D-Hooker. We also have one cap we'll give out with that. And the RB Plug 60-inch retractable ruler. Guys, if you remember, if you use that ruler in sand, you get sand in it, you got to sit there a half hour at home and rinse it with water and then put a blow dryer up to it because that cheap Chinese metal in there is going to rust. I'm just letting you know.
It's a
Okay?
retractable
I'm
ruler.
an expert in that department. Okay, RB Plugworks, and you got a Striper Maine-iac plug. Good stuff here. Thank you, Joe, for that. And we're going to add in a HRFA hat, which is the Saltwater Fly Fisherman Derby. Check that out. Don't forget, guys. Again, where can they go for this? Can they go to the site, the actual Hudson River Fisherman site, and they can see everything they can join there and whatever we talked about?
Just go to
tonight?
thehrfa.org. THEHRFA.org.
Excellent, excellent. Scott, anything else that you would like to say to finish it off? Anything? We'll have you on again on the show one day, Scott,
I'd
because
love to be back.
yeah, it's never enough.
Aww. With or without you.
Guys I'd rather bring than him.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Maybe
buddy.
12.
Yeah. There you go.
I want to come on with Bayside Dave. You know?
Nice.
That's okay too. Double timer.
Yeah.
You're always very nice, Joe. Joe, you're a good guy. You are an excellent guy. All right,
Very
so let's
Okay.
you want to do the
Okay.
thing, honey?
Yeah.
We're going to do that thing, guys. So let's,
thing.
before we do it, I just want you guys to know, if you left a comment on the Instagram, tag 3 people, follow the directions, this is what you got a chance of winning. I'll have another giveaway during the week. I'll put it up. To the people who haven't received their giveaways, we've been so busy the last few weeks that we decided that we're not going to send you them. No, I'm kidding. You're getting everything sent to. It's just that we've been very, very busy with that. So let's do that giveaway right now. Good luck to everybody who is.
Okay.
And the winner is, say it, honey.
The fishing nurse.
The fishing nurse. Are you out there, fishing nurse? You get the 10-second countdown by Mr. Poseidon. Now, I know I saw you
fishing
out
nurse.
there. So let's go. 10. There it is. Yes.
That was quick.
Fishing nurse.
Good,
You
good,
win,
good.
buddy.
All right.
Don't, you could send your address, but like again, I said, you're probably not going to get the stuff. No, I'm kidding.
No.
DM me your address on Instagram. DM me so nobody else sees it. And we'll get it together. We'll put it on with everything else that we haven't set out the last few weeks, and we'll get everything out this week. Thank you to everybody who comes to the show on a weekly basis. And even if you're not here on a weekly basis, help me out here, man. Just subscribe. And the most important thing before everybody starts leaving, hit the like button. The like button helps me out in the algorithm, gets my video out. Even if I'm an old freaking man, do it for me, all right? I love you guys. I care for you guys. I've always told my wife we never had any kids. God blessed me with everybody here, and I enjoy everybody. Surf fishermen, the bulls of the ocean. Guys, thank you so much for coming to the show. I appreciate you guys, especially on St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day,
Happy
everybody.
St. Patrick's Day,
Happy St.
Anybody want to
everybody.
say to anything to anybody out there? Any friends?
Shout outs, hellos.
Now, good luck to all my fellow fishermen this
There you
season.
go.
Yep.
There you go.
Ditto that.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
If anybody wants a free copy of our newsletter, write me, president@thehrfa.org.
Just join. We need younger members there.
Yeah.
It'd be so great if a couple of you guys join. We meet up. We can actually, you could talk to Scott. You can talk to Joe with ideas that you might have. And, these guys are easy to work with. We're always looking to improve the club. When I say we, it's them that are always looking to improve it. And join that Hudson River Derby for the striped bass. That's going to be a good one. I can't wait for that. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you to everybody. Congratulations to the winner. And anything else you'd like to say, honey?
That's it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Everyone's wishing you well for tomorrow.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I will be back. I'm going to be in the hospital 3 to 5 days. Joe is going to be there. He's going to be rubbing my toes every night so I can get a good night's sleep.
He's good at that. He's
Oh,
good at it.
Jesus. Thanks for having us on, guys. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. P. Thank you very,
you're
very
welcome.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Cheers,
coming
guys.
on.
Good night,
Cheers,
everybody. Good night,
Edwin,
Spoof Crew.
thank
Good night,
you.
Beast River. Everybody.
go, let's
Good
go.
night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Peace out. Woohoo.